A former Army officer, Joe McMonagle was part of a top-secret research program run by the Defense Intelligence Agency and CIA for over 20 years. Only recently declassified, the Stargate project examined a variety of phenomena, especially one known as remote viewing.
Remote viewing means the ability to remotely perceive information about a person, place, event, object that you have absolutely no access to through any other means except via the mind.
Beginning in the 1950s, the United States government explored the use of extrasensory perception for intelligence operations, with officials worried that the Soviets were ahead in the psychic arms race. Joe had already developed a reputation for his intuitive powers.
When you use the ability for so many years, you inherently begin to trust it more than you do other people because you're applying it on a day-to-day basis. In the case of being in Vietnam on a hazardous duty area, where my own intuitive feelings would tell me, no, this isn't the right thing to do, or I'd start getting that heavy feeling in my stomach and the butterflies and the hair standing up in the back of my neck. It doesn't take long for other people to start noticing that you're inherently making the right decision.
In 1972, Joe was recruited as remote viewer number 001. He would ultimately participate in hundreds of missions.
In Joe's case, I was the judge, and the results were astounding, not only for him, but overall for the entire group, which caught our attention. We were doing mostly operational work, where they might say, well, we expect something to happen a month from now. What can you tell us about it?
The first precognitive remote viewing that I did after I got angry, There was an admiral in the National Security Council who brought my remote viewing back to me and said that they basically did not believe that there was a submarine being built in a building in Severodvinsk, Russia. It made me very angry. They said they didn't believe it because the building was 1,000 meters from the sea. I said, go back and tell them they're going to launch it in 114 days. And the Typhoon-class submarine was launched from the building within 7 days of my prediction.
Today, they are running a test to see whether Joe can describe a photograph that he will be shown in the future.
This is a precognition trial, and what I mean by that is the computer, and nor I, nor anybody here will know the target until you finish your response to that target. It'll be randomly chosen when we're all done.
The task in these particular remote viewings, precognitively describe the photograph. That's the task. If I don't describe the picture, I'm wrong.
Please access and describe a photograph that you will see on this computer a few minutes from now.
One of the difficulties in remote viewing is probably its title, because one of the things it implies is that you're actually seeing something. In some cases, you're not. The thing that I do, and at least the way I approach it, is I try to empty my mind to open a stage where the next thing that I allow in is what I expect to be pertinent to the target. I'm left with kind of an image of a building with an entry gate with walls. I hesitate to say fortress, but it's some kind of walls.
I think that what Joe is doing is like what anybody else does, that our mind is not locked inside our brain. Our mind exists, in some sense, exists everywhere. We mostly think of it as being in there, which is why we're limited to mostly sensory information, but that's an illusion in a sense. We're actually more spread out in space and time than we know. So what Joe does and what other people like him do is change the focus of their attention. In a sense, that's all he does. He changes the focus of attention from mostly in here to tomorrow, or to 10 minutes over there.
Is that about it?
That's it.
All right. While I do the judging, if you wouldn't mind excusing yourself.
Sure.
We'll see you later. We'll call you back when it's all done. The computer chooses 5 pictures at random, very carefully done so, without any knowledge of what Joe's drawing was. And at this stage of the little experiment, it's precognition, so the actual answer has yet to be chosen. What I do now is to try to match these 5 photographs that I'm looking at to the one that best matches this response, and one of them appears to be a very solid match. My first place match is a Middle Eastern, clearly Middle Eastern village, and it has a walled enclosure exactly like you drew. Now that the judging is complete, where I've picked what I think is the right answer, we ask the computer to randomly pick one of these 5 pictures as the target. I'll switch around here, and it's a building.
Yeah.
You said mosque-like in one of the things.
Yeah.
And it certainly has that. It's got the spires. It is brown. You can't come to any conclusion on the basis of a single draw. It could have been lucky. On the other hand, the lifetime average of Joe is somewhere a little under 50%, where 20% is chance. And the statistical likelihood of that is it should never happen by chance alone.
Absolutely, I can see the future. I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been doing it in labs under controls. I've been doing it out of labs for customers. It's as easy to do as it is to see the present. So, fait accompli.
Today, Joe runs his own private remote viewing firm.
I've had customers for 10 years, and I've asked them, why do you keep coming back to me? And they've said, because you're one of the best remote viewers I've ever worked with. You know, you've made X millions of dollars for my company. Why wouldn't I keep coming back to you?